gotta go fast. Let's be honest, you remember the movie because he looked like this, and you probably watched the movie because they turned him into this, which is a way better version, as we all agree. Sonic the Hedgehog. So unless you live under a rock or you're completely not to the world of video games, I really don't need to introduce you one of the most popular characters of all time who spawned one of the most popular video game franchises of all time. That said, he also spawned both some of the most beloved video games of all time as one of some of the most hated video games of all time. I personally love the character, so this review is gonna be a little bit biased. The story is very direct and simple. Sonic has to escape his dimension because some people, some beings want his power, and of course, the next dimension he ends up in is Earth, where he lives in self-isolation for quite a long time until he loses it and lets go of his power, and of course, the government notices him and decides he's a threat. However, a local police officer becomes aware of Sonic's existence and becomes aware also of Sonic's danger he's in because of Dr. Robotnik, so he decides to help Sonic escape and possibly fight off Dr. Robotnik again. Directed by Jeff Fowler, the movie stars Benj Bites as the voice of Sonic, James Marsden, local police officer Tom, and Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. Is this movie any good, any bad, any whatever? As a fan of Sonic, I really had a blast. Sorry, it might be not a perfect movie, it might be a really good family movie, but as a Sonic fan, I felt that they captured the essence of the character, both from a design standpoint, which was a no the first time around, and an attitude standpoint. This is actually the best narrative piece of Sonic as a franchise, as I already said, so this is your best chance of seeing something good Sonic related from a narrative standpoint. The movie is full of Easter eggs from the video game, so if you're a fan of the franchise, you're gonna be very pleased with what they pulled off, whether it is the name of the local city Green Hill, to who is actually hunting Sonic in the original dimension, to, of course, the mid-credit scene. In this movie, they kept the rings a life and death matter, but not in the same way as they became portals that lead to other dimensions or to other places in the current dimension. So in a way, while that is a liberty they took, it also is a good way to maintain the same significance but without gameplay, because in the gameplay they make sense because they're again your health bar, but here they have a narrative, meaning that it is actually a matter of life and death. So that is actually pretty smart from the writers. Outside of being a Sonic movie, the film is completely fine, there's nothing inherently bad in it, but there's nothing great either. It's a completely passable movie as a whole, it's a completely enjoyable family movie, a completely entertaining family movie, I'd say. If you don't know what to watch with your kids, right now this is on VOD, so it's a perfect choice. Also, if you miss the 90s, which is very possible because Sonic is a very 90s property and a lot of old hardcore Sonic fans are from the 90s or grew up in the 90s, actually that's a better definition of it, you get vintage 90s Jim Carrey in here. He goes completely bonkers and completely crazy with this Dr. Robotnik portrayal, which might not be exactly fitting if compared to the video game, but it gives it so much life, so much passion that you're enjoying it, especially because of his old comedic style finally coming back. And again, if you're missing that Jim Carrey, just go for it, watch this movie, you're not gonna be disappointed and you're gonna have a lot of fun out of it. So overall, I'd say Sonic is a 7 out of 10 movie. It would be a 6, but because I'm a fan of the movie, I think 1 bonus point is completely worth it. Also, I really want to watch the sequel of this movie because again, I'm a fan and I'm really excited to see what they have in store given the mid-credit scene as well as the prologue where we see these unknown species hunting Sonic. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this review. Be sure to subscribe if you like this video and I'll see you next time.